Greetings, this is Commander Viper, and I'm coming today with a new tutorial and how-to guide on several different items that I've been requested on. One of the requests I've had was for simple tasks such as going over the depot, how to use it to your benefit, F key usage, etc. So I'm going to be covering some basics. This is for newer players and even some mid-level players that still even haven't heard about it, don't understand, don't know about it, whatever have you. And I hope that this sincerely helps and make your life a little bit easier within this game. So first off, let's talk about the depot and what it is. The depot contains everything that you own, from planes to equipment to consumables, boosters, everything. Everything that you have acquired in this game will be present in this depot. As you can see, sometimes it takes a minute to load. Okay, so here's all your planes, and it also gives you a rundown of, if you sell it, what you would get for that particular item. Okay, so the big one that we're going to talk about is modules. So why would you come here? Well, the biggest problem in the game is having credits to purchase your next module, enough credits to enhance or calibrate or whatever. A lot of people have a hard time acquiring and accumulating credits to proceed to the next level of whatever they're doing. Here, there's a lot of stuff that you can actually start selling. And of course, this applies to people that have been doing this at least a little while. If you're really new to the game, obviously there won't be much here for you. But as you acquire stuff and you've been playing this for a while and you've moved up some of the tech trees, these will be in here. So as you can see, there's everything from the guns, airframes, engines, turrets, uh, everything that comes on a plane that is upgradable. So like when you go in, you first purchase, whatever, a fighter, and they'll say there's 3 different engines, 1 airframe, 2 guns, whatever that you can upgrade to get it to elite status. Well, the stock variants or the mid variants come into this role here. Now, you got to be really careful because you don't want to sell something that you're using. Okay, so the way you avoid selling something that's actually being used on a plane right now is right here. So, not compatible with my aircraft. So, if you click on that, this changes. Okay, so now this is stuff that has nothing to do with the airplanes that you are currently using, flying, specialized, whatever have you. These are not going to be affecting anything that you're currently utilizing. So this is how you get it. If you go to all, it's going to include planes that you have and want and whatever. So you don't want to do that. You want to come here. The other thing you can filter is whether you want to sell airframes, engines, weapons, or whatever, or you can leave all of them there. You can filter this however you like, whatever suits you. So right off the bat, I can go in here and say, okay, man, I need, let's say I need 1 million credits to buy the next plane, whatever. So you can kind of see what's what. You can also click on that and it puts it in order of succession. So like this is the most expensive, down to the least expensive. So let's say, there's a turret, there's 100, it'll give you the grand total. What's really cool is as you start clicking on stuff, it'll total it up for you down here at the bottom and start giving you a grand total to know what you're looking for. So if you're going for 1 million, you can start clicking on stuff until you get to that 1 million and then stop. So let's say you got your 1 million and this is all stuff that's not compatible with your current aircraft, and then you click sell, it's going to sell all this. And I might as well go ahead and do it because I don't need any of that. So I sell it. I'm at 3.22 and now I'm at 4.22. That gave me an instant 1 million credits. That's one way. Consumables. A lot of times in crates, you'll get a ton of consumables that you're not going to use or don't care for or whatever have you. So, for instance, sparklers. Okay, these are actually pretty expensive. So let's say I need some quick money. I want to do some calibration, um, and I want to sell my sparklers. Okay, so let's say I want to sell 50 of them. That's going to give me 100,000 right off the bat. And let's say that's all I need. Let's say I just need 100,000. So I'm going to click 50. It gives me 100,000 credits instantly. There's my total verified, and now I'm at 4226. And I sell it. I confirm, and now I'm at 4326. So it gave me 100,000 credits just instantly. So that's a quick way to do that as well. Like I said, if you have stuff here, fireworks, smoke flares, sparklers, I'm never going to use any of that stuff. If I sell all my fireworks, I get 162,000. Cool, let's sell them. I don't need that crap. There we go. So now see how quickly it built up. So I went from having, I basically doubled what I had in my currency exchange. So that's another way. Boosters. There's all kinds of different boosters. Okay. So as you notice, there's two different ones of each one. One is a 1 hour one, and if you highlight it, it'll tell you see effect duration 1 hour. This is a 2 hour one. Same thing here. It's going to be 1 hour, 2 hour, etc. So make sure you don't get rid of something that you really want. Okay. Upgrade implementation increases the amount of free XP you get. Air reconnaissance. Sorry, increases the amount of free XP and crew XP in this. Air reconnaissance is just free XP and it's 300%. Intensive training is what you would use to train up pilots faster. It gives you 300% to your pilots. And the procurement system is for credits. If you want to build up some credits while you're flying, especially if you have premium time, and that's the key is, premium time in flying your premium aircraft. That'll build up really fast. For instance, me and one of my clanmates went in. We loaded up these procurement system boosters. We call them credit boosters. We did 1 hour, and we started flying the vampires. That's all we flew for an hour is vampires. Well, in 1 hour, we each had six. We made 6 million with this booster. So, if you're flying like a tier 8 and you go in there and use grinding credits, that's a great way to do it right here, and that'll get you a tier 10 from zero, within an hour or so. So you can sell some of these if you don't plan on using them, or you say, I'll never use this upgrade implementation thing. I don't care for it. I've got a bunch of these from crates. Let me sell these. That's 1.2 million, for instance, or whatever. However, if you want to sell half of them, however you want to do it. You can instantly make money here. The one thing I'm going to tell you, and it won't let you anyways, is your materials is something you never ever want to even think about wasting. You don't want to calibrate or whatever unnecessarily or all that. So you want to hold on to those. Now, that is a quick way to make credits. Again, you got to be careful what you select in the depot and what you're selling to ensure that does not affect the actual equipment that you're running on your plane. So you don't want to get rid of any of this stuff. You only if there was which there isn't. This is a premium, but if there was an upgrade factor to the aircraft, which most, between tiers 1 through 9, they have them, you're going to have different upgrades. So when you go look at the stock configuration, this has one airframe and it has 2 gun upgrades and 2 engine upgrades from the stock variant. So I can sell all this right here. all the way across this mid level, I can sell all these, okay? And if you click on, and I can sell these too, but if you click on that one button that is not being used instead of all, it'll ensure that these that you're using are never sold, that you're only selling the stuff that's like stock and mid-level tier equipment on the plane. Okay, so that's what you want to do there. And now, and here's another thing: if you ever flip back and forth to see if you have a specialized aircraft, and you click on the stock component configuration to see what's going on with that plane, make sure when you're done you click back on specialist. Otherwise, it'll leave it in the stock configuration. You don't want that. So that's something to think about. Um, Other food for thought is the use of F keys. Okay, F keys are a big deal in this game because they actually tell the bots where to go and what to do. And for the most part, it usually works. Every now and then, yes, this game is not perfect and it will glitch and just not respond. But for the most part, they do respond. And if you're not familiar with where and what the F keys are, the easy way to look is you go here to your settings, this little game menu, the little gears by your profile tab. You click on that, and then here you click on settings. Okay, once you click on settings, you go down here to chat, okay, and it pulls up your F key settings. So F2 is attack, ground, target. F3 is need support. F4 is attack or defend, etc., etc., etc. Okay. You need to use your F keys. The biggest ones I'm going to say, and the way to use them, the way to use your F keys is when you're flying, when you're in game, you right click on your mouse. That frees up your camera. There'll be a little dot where the reticle was. You take that dot and you point it at whatever it is you're going to apply that F key to. So let's say you're going to F2 a zone, okay? So let's say you want to F2 the missile base. So you're going to right click, because that way it doesn't affect the way or the direction your plane is flying. You're going to point that dot at the missile base, and then you're going to hit F2, and it'll say attack, missile base. And instantly a bot will respond, affirmative, whatever, and it'll be, an F-84B or whatever, and it'll start heading that way. Now, and it'll flash, and there'll be a little check mark. If you've got your Alt key pressed, you'll see all this. There'll be a little check mark next to the plane that's headed that way. You can also quickly swivel, put your little dot on that plane, and then you're going to hit F4. What that's going to do is going to attach another bot to it to go to that zone. So now you got two bots going to that zone, okay? F7 is clear my tail. That'll get a bot to come help you if you're in trouble. Sometimes that one works, sometimes it doesn't. It usually works, but sometimes it can take a minute. If something has a little bit of distance from you, it's the nearest plane is, 3,000 meters away, it's going to take a minute for him to get there. If he makes it, if he doesn't get killed by something else. So you need to keep an eye on that. So these F keys are a must, and the way to use them is just like I'm explaining. The good job, negative, affirmative, whether you ever use those or not, I don't know. F3 is, if you just F3 as you start the game, that's going to get a bot assigned to you. That's going to be a wingman for you, okay? And it'll help you through your game. And you're going to have to keep pressing it as you keep going through the zones and moving along, because you might lose them. They might veer off and go do something else. You have to keep pressing that F3 key as you're watching to see what bot is assigned to you to begin with, and you see he's not, let's say he gets killed the first zone you go into and you end up flipping it, but let's say he dies in the process, you're going to need to press that again when you're ready to move on to get another bot assigned to you. Okay, if you're in a zone, when you hit that F3 key, it's going to tell that bot to defend that zone. Let's say you flip the zone, it's going to make them defend the zone. So you might want to wait till you're right outside of the zone, and then you hit it, and it'll get a bot to come wing you up, and then you move on to the next zone. These are the most important ones for the most part. like I said, from F4, F3, F2. These are really important. The F7, like I said, it works okay-ish. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it is there to at least keep stabbing at and hopefully get some help. The other big thing, if you don't know how to do it, the boosters I was talking about is you click right here and it'll pull up the booster window, okay, right where your name's at. And then you click on that and it has the 4 boosters. So let's say I want to do a credit run. Now, let's say I'm going to start grinding credits with my premiums. So I'm going to click on this and it's going to give me a choice of what's in my depot if I want a 1 hour one or a 2 hour one. And I can click on either one of these and it will put it, I'm not going to do it because it'll pop it into that slot. And you can run up to 3 boosters at one time. So let's say if you want to run a credit booster in the first slot, you might want to run an intensive training booster in the second slot and a free XP booster in the third slot or whatever. Because if you're running premiums and you're running premium time, that's be a great way to do that. Premium time, as you see, this is a premium count. I got a lot of this in a crate. I don't pay for premium time. And I've had just really good luck picking them up in crates over the last few months. But if you don't have them and you haven't gotten it, and as you're somebody that doesn't run a lot, let's say during the week, but you're going to be on the weekend, I do what I call a weekend pass. And you can get 3 days of premium, which would cover you, let's say, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it really does not cost a whole lot. I mean, just about anybody should be able to afford $3.50. $3.70, whatever. So you can even pick up one day. If you only want $1.50, get you a day of premium, but it's going to double what you make. So let's say you go to battle and you have a battle, you make 80,000 credits. Well, if you had a premium, you'd have made over 160,000 credits. So that's a big deal. If you're grinding credits or you're grinding XP, premium time doubles that or better if you're running that. So you can do what I call a weekend pass, a 3-dayer. You can just do one. If you want to run a week, that's only that's under $7 for a whole week of premium. You're gonna have to gauge it on your own. How much you're gonna be on here to use that. So it is worth it though. I mean, instead of beating your head and trying to take twice as long, as you run your premium time, you run some boosters, and you grind it out, and you get your credits and free XP and all that built out. The boosters, the other thing I'm going to say is if you don't have any in your depot, you can purchase them. Yeah, and I know, they're gold, unfortunately. I wish they would add credits to this, but, a 1 hour booster is only 150 gold, and it really is worth it because, like I said, in 1 hour, you can make 6 million with a good tier 8. Any good tier 8. So if you have the J21 RB, I've actually made over 400,000 in games with the J21, and that was like an 18,000 point game. So it wasn't like anything super phenomenal. Yeah, it was a good game, but it wasn't like I was doing 25k games to get that. Anything over 14, if you have a Wing Legend or better game, 14k and up, you're going to make close to 400k in this thing. It's a great premium to have. It's in the premium store. You can get it, whatever. Unfortunately, the P82 Bravo is not in the premium store. That's a very special one. You see it occasionally, but this is another one you can make 350 to 400k a game pretty consistently. I mean, if you're having good games, even if you have a crappy game, you're going to make over 200k in this thing. So, sure is better making 200k than making 40k or 50k, right? And if you put a booster at the end of the hour, you're going to have over 6 million. So that's the way to do that. Not that I'm not saying don't run. If you have a tier 7 like this thing here, if you have a tier 7 or tier 6 premium, like a lot of people have this DB605, well, that's a good little premium. This will still get you there. It's not going to make the money a tier 8 is going to make, but even at the end of an hour, if you've made, 3.5, 4 million, well, that's 3.5 and 4 million more you had when you started. So it's still strong. It's just not as strong as a tier 8. Obviously, the higher tier you go, the higher the credit payout is. That's just how the game works. So, but if you have a good tier 7, or tier 8, I would run those. The highest tier 1 that you have, that's the one I would run. Okay, I'm not saying you have to go out and get a tier 8 to do this. I'm just saying the tier 8 is the most efficient. Now, this vampire is a freemium. And of course, it doesn't show any here anymore. It's a mission that you have to go in and accomplish. But this thing here, again, is what I was telling you. Me and my clanmate went in and we were grinding credits with the vamps. And in 1 hour, I did 6 million. So this is one of the best credit grinders in the game. It's one of my most flown planes because when I grind credits to buy these stupid tier 10s at 6 million a pop, this is where I'm going to go to grind for the most part. Yeah, I jump in some of my other ones. I have the RB17 is a great grinder, and of course you saw that on my screen a minute ago. This actually does really good grinding credits. Again, it's 250, 300k, no problem on a decent game. The JL1A, if anybody has that. The BVP 203. This is a good grinder as well. Any one of these. The XP58 in the premium store, anybody has access to this. This is a very good grinder. Again, you should be able to make over 200k a game easily in this thing. So there are some good tier 8s out there. I'm finding feedback wise, most of my guys that got the J21 RB on my recommendation really are doing great with it and enjoy it. The XP58 is a little bit of a different beast just because of the guns. It is a heavy, whatever. So it's a little bit different, and a lot of the newer folks are not used to flying heavies well. So your games are not going to be as consistent as they are if you jump into this J21, where it's just a multi-roll. You have a ton of rockets, and they got a great reload on the rockets. It's a 60-something second reload on them, and good guns, and it's got good flight performance. So overall, you're going to be a lot more consistent when you're grinding credits in this thing and you're still learning the game. Again, if you're newer, and I say newer, if you've got under 2,000 battles, to me, you're newer. Okay, you still have learning room in here. So this will help you get there. Not everybody, unfortunately, can afford a $50-something premium, and that's fine. Like I said, whatever you got. If you've got something in a crate that you got a DB605 or that Mustang Mark 1A or whichever one, those are fine too. There's nothing wrong with those. It'll just take you a little bit longer. So in that case, I would probably run a 2-hour booster with one of those, and you should be able to get up around 8 million or so with a 2-hour booster on a tier 6. That'll still get you, if you're ready to buy that tier 10 and you're already there, you've already researched it, and all you got to do is get the credits for it, you should be able to still do that. That'll get you there. So that's the basics review. It was the F keys, talking about boosters a little bit, and the depot. Again, when you use the depot, make sure you're cautious of what you're selling. You don't want to sell something you're using on a plane, because then you're going to have to buy it back. And folks, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get this channel built up since VBAT is kind of out of operation right now, and provide you folks with updates, assistance, tutorials, and everything that I'm getting a ton of requests for, and I'd love to do them, but I do need to have the support and channel to do so. So whatever you guys can do for me support-wise, and it's free, it doesn't cost you nothing to come in there and punch some buttons and click likes and whatever, and that'll get the metrics on that channel looking really good. I thank you all for coming and giving me the opportunity to share some information with y'all. Godspeed, and y'all have a good day.